How's it going, everyone? Session here. Welcome to a good old internet quiz we have ourselves here. Take this quiz and prove that you can name all of these '90s toys. The '90s, apparently. What a time to be alive. AOL, MTV, Frosted Tips. We didn't have those. What was not to love? You also can't forget about the epic toys that were around in the '90s. They were so great. That's how nostalgic people are still trying to get their hands on them today. In fairness, that's really true. Some toys from the '90s I think are worth like hundreds, if not like thousands of dollars, just because to preserve toys for what 20 odd years is very difficult. So let's see how well we know this. What are these called? Oh, teeny. Wait, not cuddle. They're Beanie Babies. Aren't they teeny? No, they're not stuffed fluff friends. They're Beanie Babies. Yeah, but I thought that they had a different name, or was it was TY the name of the company? Okay, I don't know. They're considered to be collectibles and can be sold for large sums of money. I only had one, and actually, it's not true. I had like three or four. No, but like it was between like the family. Like we had a bunch of them, but I know I had like a bear looking one. It was very simple. We don't have. I definitely don't have that anymore. I didn't care at all about these back in the day, but I wonder how much a Beanie Baby costs nowadays. Wait, I'm actually very curious. Hold on. $50,000 for one of the this rainbow thing is 50 grand. Do you see this? Why? A rare 1996 piece Beanie Baby from the TY Beanie Babies collection in mint condition with original tag and tag protector. It's a $50,000. Okay, that's that's wild. Oh wow, Polly Pocket. Because like yeah, I was gonna say I feel like if it's multiple choice, it's kind of easier to answer. But like I'm curious. They were first shipped in 1989, and they were found in the '90s. They were tends to look like a powder compact that contains dollhouse. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, I never had these. I don't actually know anyone who did have these. However, the commercials that came up about these were too many. Because we watch like Toonami and like Cartoon Network, and they would promote Polly Pocket like on the downtime. And when I had to suffer through commercials, it's what they talk about. So, although I don't know about what a petite Patty or a small Sandy or a tiny Tina is, but like here we are. Oh, Sock'em Boppers. Okay, I only know what this is because I literally wanted these toys. I wanted this so badly in my house, and we never bought them. But they always, because you know what it was? It was it was one of those toys that I wanted as a kid for the longest time. But the problem was that we also already had video games in the house. So despite me wanting to actually like own it, I know for certain that I would have never ever used them ever. Are sock and boppers still even like purchasable? Oh, they are. Oh, and they're literally the exact same brand. They've been alive for this long. That's actually pretty impressive. Okay, you can actually get them for like $20. I mean, it's not too late now if I anything. That's actually kind of hilarious. I've never owned these in my life, but the promotion for them again in commercials very high. So that's cool. Oh, these things. Okay, so I don't know what they're called though. Okay, but I can tell you about these because I used to always be afraid because you can like pull them and then they're really like elastic. But I was always afraid of them like breaking because I didn't want to pull it too much and then it just like snaps. But you would like grab it a couple by like the strands of the elasticity and you would like it would like bounce back and forth in your hand kind of thing. And also it was very fuzzy and it was really fun to like hold. But I never knew what they were called. I think we just called them like fuzzies or something. I don't know what they're called though. Uh, band balls, koosh balls. The koosh ball was first patented in 1988 and are made of rubber foaming plastic. There's no exact purpose to them other than you can toss them around. Well, see, like that's the thing though. Koosh balls? I've never heard of it. There was never ever a name used for these. I've never heard these have a name. We just called them like fuzzies. Or I mean, I didn't even think that it was like a ball. I mean, there was like a, I guess like a plastic thing and like rubber something to like hold it in place as a ball, but like in my mind, I never, because like if you like a baseball or just like a ball in general, you can play like catch with it. I've never played catch with these. You just held them in your hand. They were kind of therapeutic in some way, shape, and form for a child. And like, yeah, you would grab the strands of the rubber, and then you would have to like, you yeah. Uh, there's like another toy that I'm thinking about that's similar. We use them for that same reason. Okay. Oh gosh, aren't these the trolls? Yeah, I never liked these because they didn't have clothes. But I understand though that like it didn't technically matter. I I don't actually remember if we even ever owned one in the house. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know. No, that's not true. We had one, but I think I used to like. Okay, I'll tell you why. Because if we did own one, then it was used to scare me in a way, shape, and form. So if you see it at night, like just in the dark, it's a little creepy little monster looking thing. So it was kind of freaky. Also, the face doesn't really look that appealing to a kid. I don't know what the purpose was, but I guess the hair was a thing. I guess people like brushed and combed the hair because it was puffy, but like I never really cared about these things at all. What the I want to say it's silly putty, but I don't. Okay, the thing is that the shape that it came with, I don't know at all what that comes from. But it's a trademark of Crayola. Stuff's pretty cool. You can flatten it and press it against the newspaper and it will copy everything. The trick is remembering to put it back in the case when you're done. I literally okay, we had silly putty, but not in this like red container thing. Or did we? I don't even know. I literally don't remember. But I knew that goop and squishies was not correct. Moldable putty makes sense, but I feel like it doesn't have like a kid name to it, so it didn't make sense for it to be called moldable. But silly putty makes total sense because it's not like a slime, but it's like I don't know. It's like a clay. It's like clay sort of. It's like elastic clay. I guess I don't know. We had it, but I didn't know what the storage container is. What my brain can't remember. Oh, this. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay. If you had this in like middle school, you were a cool kid because you had it attached to your book bag or your backpack, and then or you had it attached to like your waist belt. Like if you had like a belt and you would just attach it to that too. That way you can always like check on it. I loved. Was it? Is it Tamagotchi? It was a Tamagotchi. Okay, so there's another one that I'm thinking about that's similar to this, but it's not called Tamagotchi. But I can't remember for the life of me. Either way, though, like every kid in my school had one guaranteed, myself included. Mine was red. Um, and I don't even remember like the creature or the pet that was in it. It must have been um like a dog or something, but all I know is that we that was the first toy that you used as a testament to whether or not you were able to be like a good like caretaker of some sort. The obsession with these was insanely high. I don't even know how much it costs back then. I wonder how much. I mean, also I think Tamagotchi is the incorrect spelling. I think it's more like Tamagot, like GOT and then CHI, right? Is that what it was? Oh yeah, and they're still worth or they range from 20 to $50. Okay. But the thing is that like I'm certain that there has to be a Star Wars one and like one with like Yoda and like Pokemon ones. Like there's definitely a bunch of those like Digimon. My gosh. And like they were expensive. Uh at least at the time for like 1996. But like now I'm sure like if you find like a Star Wars one, it's probably worth like a couple hundred or even like 1,000. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh my god, are you kidding? A Bop It? Everyone knows Bop It. That toy is still relevant to this day. The difference though is that it had twist and pull, but then they added spin and flick. Although like it's funny enough though, because like flick didn't really make sense to me um as a kid. like I didn't know how to flick, like the actual motion of flicking. I didn't understand it. So like the flick one, I just feel like you had to just hit it, which I guess is also technically correct. But like you're supposed to, I think, actually like flick it and like just. I just grabbed it and then I would just like just the same way how you kind of twist it. I just kind of like twisted it. Yeah, dude. It's still a popular toy, I think, even still to this day. And also they have a bunch of different ones too. They have like the reverse one, and they even have ones where you have to like do it in a certain direction. It's kind of out of pocket actually, but oh, Bop It, I love Bop It. We had one in the house, but it wasn't the one with just the two. We had the four. We had the red spin, and then the green flick, and then the blue pull, and the yellow twist, and then yeah, the toy was black too. So then I think it also told you like to pass it, and then it would go like ow if you failed. Yeah, I don't know what my record was though. I wish I remembered. It must have been like 10 or 15 or something. I was not good at it because the pressure of like having to hand just it was a lot. So, but no, yeah, I love Bop It. Bop It's a great toy. As if you think I'm not gonna know what a freaking pocket is? No, I'm kidding. It's a Game Boy. Dog, this was this was the toy of like the decade for being like a mobile title. I remember too because the first game I had for Game Boy was Super Mario uh Bros or Super Mario Land, I think it was one of those two. And then we got Pokemon Yellow, but then they came out with the Game Boy Color, and then Pokemon Yellow looked way cleaner, and it was glorious in all of its thing. So I remember that. Like I remember that you played Pokemon and Tetris. We had Tetris because you know everyone in the house played Tetris. That was like the game that everyone was a big fan of as a kid. I didn't like it because like I just what I never have liked about Tetris, and I still don't like it to this day about Tetris, is that when you start doing well, the concept of it going faster is too stressful. So I don't handle it well after a certain time. Like I love playing Tetris, but there is a point in time where like I want to stop playing Tetris. If I can get like a modified Tetris game and always have it be like a slower speed, I'd be set for life. But they don't do that, unfortunately. So, but Game Boy was revolutionary. I still have my Game Boy. It's not here though, but because I had this one, I had a green color, yellow pocket, and then I didn't get the advance because I think I was into console gaming at the time enough. But then I skipped the advance and got the advance SP. So like I know Game Boy. Oof. Oh, this thing. Okay, I think it's a Furby, right? It's not Fur Babies. It's not Happy Pals. And it's not Chipmunk Friends. I think it's a Furby. Okay, yeah. So like I know we never had this toy though. But again, same thing. It was an advertised toy on commercials on a constant level basis. And I think also because it was released in like the late 90s. I was what, like 6 at that time. So like for me to actually remember the commercial like airing on television because I was waiting for like, cartoons to come back on like during WB11 in the mornings because they always had like just Pokemon and then Digimon and like Spider-Man, right? And then towards the evening time with like Cartoon Network, they had like, Cow and Chicken and like Dexter's Lab and all the older shows, like they had this commercial. I think I've never really cared about what this toy was because I think in like some capacity, I think there's certain people that are scared by this toy. Like visually, I it never scared me though. I just didn't understand like the purpose of it because the commercial would explain to you what it is, but like I was too young to understand what it was. Like, but now that I'm reading it out loud, like you feed it by putting your finger in its mouth is actually like kind of murderous intent, Because what's that? Oh, there's a video game that came out like not recently, but it's been out for like a while. Tattletale. They copied the exact same concept of a Furby in Tattletale, and it literally takes the horrors of a Furby and it makes it a real thing in the game, and it's actually very scary. So Furby. Okay, this is when you lose me. Um, it's not Chatty Cathy, not Barbies. Is it American Girl? It's one of these two. But like, okay, so I've never known what these were, but like when oh man, what was it? The first time I saw an American Girl store was like 2016 or something, and I didn't even understand the concept of it. But oh, I'm gonna get this wrong. Is it Polly? It is American Girl. Okay, interesting. Because same thing though. These American Girl dolls have been around for so long, and again, like they make so much profit because again, like if you have a doll from the 90s and it's still well taken care of, like to this day, that doll is worth so much bank. I obviously like, but I never had one obviously because like I didn't play with dolls. uh I was an action figure or a video game kid, that was it. But I understand that. I knew it was American Girl. I was just trying to remember when I first passed by the American Girl store if it was similar to what this looks like, and I couldn't remember. But this makes so much sense actually. Okay, bro, this is a Super Soaker. There's no way you're not gonna. It's funny though too because the Super Soaker looks nothing like this version of it now. It's so much more advanced compared because they still make Super Soaker today. It was originally called the Power Drencher. Two sets of water balloons. All right. Yeah, we used to have these all the time in the house because I mean it didn't have like a handle or like it was like a simple like what was it? We had the one where it was like a water cannon, like it was white, and then the canister was like in the back. So you had to like it was weird actually. We didn't do it correctly. I used to have I would like fill the canister with water and I would hold it upright and I would put the gun and I would twist the gun, which was dumb. You had to actually, you know, hold the gun and put the canister in and twist the canister in, and once it starts to like actually like lock it in place you can easily turn it in and it was perfect. So yeah, I love having Super Soaker. Only good for the summertime. I think also there was a moment in my teenage days where I wanted to put like soda in it and it was just like a dumb idea, so I don't recommend it, but Super Soakers were lit. Okay, here's the thing. If you start putting video game consoles in front of me, then like I'm gonna feel the nostalgia kicking in really hard. But then this quiz is out of pocket if they think that people are not gonna know what a Super Nintendo was. You know what I mean? This was the first console that I got that I just like knew was my life as a kid. I still have my Super Nintendo to this day and a handful of games that I've had since I was a kid then too. Cause what? I still have Diddy Kong Racing, or no, not sorry, Donkey Kong Country 2 with Diddy Kong. I have Donkey Kong Country 3, the first one. We have Top Gear. I have Super Mario All Stars, Super Mario World, Zelda Link to the Past. I still have all of those games. And the controller, I still have the same controller too. Although it's missing the like the logo, but like it kind of makes sense though. Um, yeah, dude, best one of the best consoles of its time. It was golded. Oh, what are these? They're not Pokemon cards. That's not how that works. There's Pokemon on them, which is a theme then. They're not Thunderballs. Are they Pogs? Or Taps? TS. Are they Pogs? Pog comes from a brand of juice made from a passion fruit, orange juice, and guava. Its cap was used to play the game before it was commercialized. Cool Pogs to collect and carry. Okay, so like made of it comes from a brand of juice. I've never owned Pogs and I've never known what Pogs were. I know nothing about these. But like I knew that they weren't Pokemon cards because I collected those, and Thunderballs makes no sense. And I don't know what a Taps is, but like Pogs, I guess they were like collectible caps, is essentially what it must have been. There's also a chance I've had Pogs or wanted them, but like I never cared for them at least at some point in time. Like there might have been a time where I passed by them and I wanted it because it was but not because it was a Pog, but because it had like a thing like a Pokemon or something that I wanted. I wanted it for the sake of the Pokemon, not for the sake of the actual fact that it was a Pog. That's probably what it was. But I don't know what any of these are. I don't even know like what are they used for. You know, actually, I would love to know. I guess like you just collected them. Okay. Oh shoot. I never owned this in my house, but we had them in school. I feel like I've never played with this toy as a kid though. I've always wanted to, but like because we only had it in school, I never like got my turn. It's not a hopscotch. Or is it? Oh shoot. It's a is it a skip it? It's a skip it. Okay. Yeah, because you put your ankle in the ring, and then you would literally use your ankle to swing it, and then you would skip. Like I know what it does and what it is, but yeah, I know that like we never owned this toy personally in the house, but we had it in school, and I never got to play with it in school. I think also at the time though, when it was out and about, I think I was just too busy either like playing tag or playing Game Boy or just like eating snacks during recess time, you know. So like I never really cared for this toy. I also wonder another thing about it, like who played with, because you know, like not that I want to get gender about it, but like you know, certain kids that were boys play with certain toys versus or girls playing certain toys too. Like I wonder which, I wonder if girls play with the skip it more so than boys did. It must have been 50-50 though. I don't know. I can tell you for sure. I recall I've seen both boys and girls play with it because there used to be a war over the skip it, but I never bothered with it. But I did know what it was. Okay. Oh, these are the freaking oh my god, I remember these actually, but I don't know what they're called. Flying mermaids, sky dancers, sky princess. I don't remember what they're called. Oh my gosh. Because they're like the Beyblade, but they're the opposite. Because you pull the thing and they fly up, and then these are wings, and then the wings actually will like extend outward, and then they kind of like helicopter downward. Oh, but I don't remember what it's called. Um, I don't have a clue actually. I know the toy because I've always heard other people want the toy, but I've never cared for the toy. But I don't know what it's called. Is it a Fly Mermaid? It's a sky dancer? Okay. It's been from the popular show in the 90s. It was a show? I don't even what show? Sky Dancers? I literally have no idea. They were also recalled after 6 years because they caused injuries. Oh, okay, okay. I kid you not. I've never known what this toy was. Never. That is wild though. Sky dancers. Okay. Nintendo U. What's a Nintendo U, bro? Sega Dreamcast. Hey yo, PlayStation One. Whew, Nintendo 64. Listen, I have the Jungle Green N64, the one that came with the Donkey Kong 64 bundle. Okay, I still have that green N64. It is still fully functional and it works perfectly well. It has the rumble pack in the back of the controller. It has the red game pack to make the games run smoother. This console was the most amazing thing I played for the longest time. I still own Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask with the like when you turn it changes. I still have that. I have Pokemon Stadiums 1 and 2 with the gold and the silver back. I have that. Star Fox, I just have everything, dude. It was so good. Oh, man. N64 was such a good time. Like just chef's kiss of a console. So good. What the fuck is this thing? Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the first thing when I tell you directly, I have no idea what it is. The Sky Dancer, I knew what they were from visual. Uh, I already forgot the other toy that I forgot the name of, but like I know it. I don't know what this is. I know it's not Battleship. Rogue Warrior is, I'm pretty sure, like a video game from like 2018 or something. It's either Crossfire or Space Combat. Oh, it's Crossfire. Okay. I don't have a clue though. Created in 71 but had a major resurgence in the 90s. In order to win, you had to react quickly and aim at the marbles accurately. It's not the best game for people with anxiety. I don't even. Okay, here's the thing though. If I like look at the picture of the game, I don't understand the game at all. Like, what do you do with it? You have to react to aim the marbles. Oh, so I guess like the marbles come from here and then they come in and then you have to shoot them because there's like a little pocket thing right here. So it's probably on both sides. No, I have never seen this toy. This toy, okay, I want to say something that's a little bit like, is a hot take. I don't think that this toy had a resurgence in the 90s. Like, but like after 94. This probably had like an early 90s resurgence, but after that though, there's no way because at that point in time, the Game Boys and Super Nintendo was out and about that there's just no chance at all that this toy was relevant when those games were out. There's no chance, but I don't know what this is. That's probably why though. So, oh, these are moon boots, aren't they? Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Um, I gotta think now. No, yeah, I think they're moon shoes. Yes. Okay, okay, okay. Broken ankles and poor sales led to the banning of moon shoes, which are like an individual trampolines for each foot. Yes. Okay, so in respect to fairness, I definitely I've always wanted them, but the problem is that my they never I never got to buy the toy in at home because they had them in school. And my mom definitely found out that like a kid got injured by owning these, and so she was like, "You're not allowed to own these." And like I never fought about not getting a certain toy. I definitely fought about getting not getting a certain game. Like if there's like a video game that I wanted and I didn't get it, oh, I threw a tantrum. Not actually, but I would barter or wager my way through to being able to get the video game that I wanted. But toys was like not really on that same level. So when I was told that I couldn't have these, I was like, it's fine. But I got a video game as a replacement, and that was a win for me. However, I know for certain though that the reason why we never bought these is because some kids in my school got injured with these, so we never actually bought them. And it makes sense. So that's cool. What the fuck is these? I have no idea. Okay, not Star Trek. Is it No, wait. Wait. No, these are coming back to me. Are these Okay, I I vaguely know these. There's only two things I can think of that will make me remember these. These things opened up, I think, and then you can put like slime in them or something, and then they would ooze out of the. Is that what it was? I think that's actually what it was. Hold on a second. Mighty. Although the name Mighty Max is kind of like a it's kind of like whatever for the toy, unless it's based off a show. It is based off of a show. Okay. The toys featured short comics on the back, packaging summarizing the Max's adventures in the Child Zone. Okay. There was Doom Zones. Oh, so they did open up, and then they had things inside of them. Okay, so now, okay, whoops. Okay, so there is a toy I'm thinking about that like you open it and then you put a thing in and you close it and then like it like oozes through kind of thing, but it's definitely not the Mighty Max. But I don't ever remember these things even being called Mighty Max though. Cuz like these were UK toys from 92 to 96. I don't know. If I only know these, if I do know these, it's because of the commercial. But I don't remember. I've never owned one, but I do know about them though. Okay, wait. This isn't slime? What the slime promoted by Nickelodeon? Oh, is it glue? It's GAC? Okay. Okay. After the introduction of GAC, Nickelodeon went on to make countless toys, all focused around the slime, mostly made of vanilla pudding, applesauce, oatmeal, and green food coloring. Huh. I would have never thought that was actually made of like food. Okay, now before you start pitchforking and being like, "How'd you get this wrong?" I wasn't really like a Nickelodeon kid growing up. I was a Cartoon Network kid. Uh, and in some case scenarios, like Disney Channel, depending on the show. But I was more Nickelodeon in terms of like SpongeBob and like the cartoons that they played, but not like the real life stuff. And I didn't care for slime at all because it was messy. Um, like I genuinely didn't care for like in because in the shows that they had when they had like a okay is oh man wait I gotta look this up now because there was a bunch of slime shows on Nickelodeon. There was like because Rugrats did that. They did like the thing when in the intro, Tommy would squeeze like the milk and it would make like the splat like slime sound. Like that's what that was based off of. But I never because they used to have like game shows sort of for kids kind of and like they used slime as part of like the main concept for that and like if you lose you got slimed. Like I know that much, but like I never actually owned it for myself, I guess. I just didn't like how messy it was. However, it being called GAC is not anything I would have ever assumed. So that's a loop for me. Oh, these are little people, right? Playmobil. Oh no. Wait, did I really just answer that incorrectly? Wait, what do the toys look like for little people then? Oh, those are the ones I was thinking about. But these don't have the or do they? They have like the little hand claw thing. Doesn't the little people have the same thing though? No, wait. I gotta look this up now. Oh, they don't. The little people were the shrunken like chunky little toys. These are the ones that had the hand. Okay, so okay, because Fisher Price is the name of the company brand, and Sims is a video game. So those two were easy to take out. But I did not know that it was called Playmobil. I didn't. Wasn't there another name for these? No? Maybe? Isn't Playmobil like the name of the company sort of thing? It's not like the name of the toy? Oh, from what line of toys? Oh, it's actually asking you the question. Okay. Genuinely speaking, I had no idea. Okay. Wow, that's like such a throwback, dude. Oh my gosh. But like I don't know what they're called. Are they buff guys? Oh, they were street. Okay, my initial answer was Street Sharks, but I thought that they weren't actually called Street Sharks because it was a TV show. It was, and it kind of derived and reminded me of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like a little bit, but like I completely forgot about these until I visually saw these. Oh, wow, that's a throwback of nostalgia. Holy. Okay. Oh, this was the was this the Easy Bake? This was the Easy Bake, right? Okay. So here's the thing. This was also a toy that like literally and when I say literally, I mean literally was all over the place in commercial. But like there was never a necessity to buy these in the first place because like conceptually it was like what's the point of buying an Easy Bake when you can use like an actual oven? And like it makes sense because you know like kids can't use fire. They're gonna get burned and get hurt. Sure, the Easy Bake Oven was like supposed to be an alternative, but like by the like here's the thing: kids born in like the young '90s, like I mean like '95 or something. You know, they had to have been like 4 and 5 when these was being sold, sort of thing, right? Like they would end up like as a 5 year old. I never cared about this toy, even if I was like into baking and all that kind of stuff, because like if I wanted cookies, my mom would just make cookies. Or better yet, we would buy like Chips Ahoy and they were just at the ready. So the necessity of like the concept and necessity of baking cookies just didn't really fly or make sense to me. So like it just didn't matter. But the fact that 16 million of these got sold in 97, kind of out of pocket. That's crazy actually. I would have never known that they sold this many. But like, alas, here we are. This is impressive though. I definitely remember that for sure. Oh, wow. This is another one. Okay, so before I answer this, like this I'm gonna sound like such a baby. This was a toy that like I didn't want because you only made insects. Despite them being gelatin based made, like I remember this because they promoted this toy during Halloween because it was creepy crawly, bugs, gross, and scary. But like there were only certain kids who bought these toys. And I was not the kind of kid to ever buy the creepy crawlers. Like there was no chance of it at all. Um it kind of sort of was the boy version of an easy bake oven, but like I don't really know anybody who actually, because like for some reason like bugs were promoted to boys to be like a thing that they like, but like kids didn't actually like bugs. But it wasn't because like we liked the centipede or like a spider. It was because if you went to the park or the playground and you played with like bugs, you played in the sand or on the ground and there were bugs, right? So like if there were ants nearby, you would just grab an ant and be like, "Oh, look, an ant." But like kids can you can differentiate like a cockroach versus an ant. And so like we didn't like cockroaches obviously, but we liked ants for some magical reason. So like I guess them trying to promote the creeper crawler was like a thing, but it was totally like a Halloween toy. I never bought this. I never cared for it because of the same reason for the slime. It just seemed like a messy toy. So like, no, thank you. You know what? I give them credibility for trying to like, confuse what it could or couldn't be sort of thing. But these are the TMNTs. The problem though is that like if you somehow didn't like keep track of these, then you just didn't understand. Like you lived under a rock for the longest time. You know what I mean? Like, but these toys are still roaming about to this day, so they don't need any kind of introduction. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't a Walkman. Oh shoot. Wait a second. Now you're throwing me off. It was a recording device, but like, okay, here's a problem though. We had this toy at home. I didn't care for it though. But again, I don't know what it's called. Because it's literally just it's a recording device, man. It wasn't like a walkie-talkie, and it wasn't like a Sony Walkman. We had those, but like a Walkman isn't a toy. It's like you listen to music with like the cassette tapes. But the thing is that you put the tape in. It was a small tape. You put like the tape was very small. It wasn't like a cassette tape. It was smaller. You put the tape in, and then you can record stuff and would replay it out of the speaker over here. And this was the right. I think you press that thing and it would hold it. But I don't know what the name of it was. Is it a Talk Buddy? It's a Talk Boy. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, it was used as a non-working prop for Home Alone 2. Okay. We had one, and it definitely was because of Home Alone 2. Because that's the New York episode. That's the one of the best movies for children and Christmas films of all time. I definitely didn't remember being called a Talk Boy. The Talk Man didn't make sense, but Talk Boy, I would have never guessed actually. You know what? Power Rangers are again still to this day heavily being used, promoted, and kids play with them all the time. They still make backpacks out of them, I'm sure. I definitely grew out of Power Rangers like after the 90s. Uh, Early 2000s, I would say. Like 2001, 2002, I was like, eh. But I mean, like, that's not even true though. Because here's what I will say. In the early 2000s, I had Power Rangers, but I definitely grew out of them well before then because I already had an N64 and the PlayStation 1. And the Dreamcast came out around like what 90s or 98, 99. So like toys, I grew out of toys really quickly once I started getting video games into my life. Um but that's cool though. Power Rangers lit. Ain't no way. Three 3PO? Space Lord. Buzz Lightyear, bro. Listen, the thing is that like the toy itself was goaded because the big red button pulled the wings out and the wings were two prone toys. So like you can make the wings really long or make them short and then close. And then the three buttons he had were they were like catchphrases that he said. So he would like to infinity and beyond, or like Buzz Lightyear to the rescue. Um and the he like the toy was like a perfect replica from the film. So he would actually pull out the thing and have like the talking recording device, whatever, and like to talk to like Star Command, like he actually had that, and then he actually had the laser pointer. However, the laser beam wasn't actually like a pointer or anything. It just like was a red light that would light up. Um, I had that toy for so long, and yeah, it was just I'm sure like the toy is probably still like really good right now. It probably is a very good toy. Oh my god, a Razor scooter? Wait, does that say sharp? What does it say right there? That almost looks like sharper image. But like, this is a Razor scooter. Dude, these things were everywhere. I don't even remember like what it boiled down to, but like oh my gosh, dude. Like I love the Razor scooter. It was so good. Um I have a terrible story though because like there was a time where I was going down a hill and like the hill was really steep and I didn't know how steep it was sort of thing. So it was I was going I must have been going like 15, 20 miles an hour and I was very scared. I luckily though like I just held myself straight and went down a hill and then on another hill and then I turned and the turn was like it wasn't like a wide or like a sharp turn, but the turn I had to really like concentrate and then I ended up like there's like a parking lot, like a ramp into a parking garage kind of thing. So like but like it was like there was the driveway and then there was grass. So I literally purposefully I must have been like 12 or 13 when this happened. I was going so fast that I ramped off the driveway and then I landed in the grass. And thankfully too, like I didn't even it just made more sense to me to land on the grass versus the concrete because it was conceptually soft. I ended up getting bruises like all over the place though, like just like scrapes and everything, but like very other than that though, dude, I think I must have owned a Razor scooter when even like pre-COVID. Because if you know about Pokemon Go was a thing, dude. The Razor scooter came in handy for traveling far distance without having to run at the time. So like Razor scooters are still relevant today. The problem though is that like obviously electric anything electric just takes over easily. But if you can get your hands on a Razor scooter, it's kind of sort of worth the investment. But I don't think there is like adult sized Razor scooters, maybe. I don't actually know about that. I should actually. Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I could actually invest in a real like adult scooter that's um like manual, I'd be down. But the problem though is that they have electric scooters and they have the non-electric ones. And I'm sure the freaking adult one is probably worth like $1,000, and the kid one is like 100. So like it's up in the air. Oh, what kind of Elmo is this? It has to be Tickle Me, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So like cuz I had this and here's the truth. I actually didn't like the cuz he did his limbs don't move. He kind of stays like that, but when you I think you squeeze his hands or his feet and then he would vibrate. It was like a vibration toy thing. Um but like I do remember we bought okay, the fact that it was a retail toy being paid for almost 10 grand is kind of nuts to me because we had like 4 of them. Like I had one, my nephew had one, both my cousins had one. We had like so many of them. Um I wonder I'm actually let me see. I want to know if it's actually like worth anything now. If it's worth like nothing, I'm not surprised. But like okay, $50. I mean, I think that's like Sesame Street though. That's not like a toy for demand thing. I think like naturally it just that's it's a modernized toy today. Yeah, $50 makes sense. Oh, okay. I never owned this toy, but it was a game toy kind of thing. Because again, you put the teeth down, and the winner basically that doesn't get bitten wins. but I never owned it, and I never actually seen the toy either. I've only seen it in commercials. Um, is it Angry Alligator? Alligator Dentist? Oh, okay. It actually makes sense that that was the name. Okay, yeah, I never owned this toy, and yeah, because then all the teeth would go away, and then that was it. So like you would just lose. Okay, that's throwback. What the? Oh my gosh, dude! Wow, that's such a throwback. But I don't know what it's called. I don't. Is it? I have no idea. It's a talkback dear diary. Wow. Hold on a second. I haven't heard. Okay, so like I never knew what the toy was called, but I only remember this thing at the top. But oh my gosh, dude, this toy is so old. I didn't even remember that like it was a I didn't think it was even like a diary. I just didn't know what it was. We just had it at the house. I didn't never knew that it was I never knew it was a diary. Wow, that took me off guard. Like that this is one of the like that surprises like wow. Okay. Oh, okay, see like here's a problem though. You can literally see all the Pokemon. Listen, everyone knows Pokemon to the highest degree. The cards. Listen, I still have cards today, so we're not even gonna pretend. But also, like, everyone knows that these are now like more collectible based than they're being played for. The game is still like the TCG is still being played today. I know that for sure. But like these cards are definitely old and worth like way too much money. Like that Charizard is like a $1 million card on like on some crazy nonsense. So like that's yeah. Wow! Oh my gosh, dude! Wow! Oh, but what were they called? I don't even remember. Cause okay, I think it's connects. Yes, but okay, because there's okay. I know for a fact that they're gonna show us another toy later on in this quiz, and I'm gonna remember it also. But like, it's not the one I was thinking of. I'm not gonna say it unless they give me the answer or they make it like a real quiz thing. But like, okay. Oh, I was thinking about a different name for a toy, but then I remember that toy, but then I remember this thing because like they didn't have they didn't have like the same oomph as Legos, but they were so cool. And you made like a whole bunch of things out of them. They were connects. Oh my gosh. But then there's another toy that uses a similar name, but it's another thing. So like I thought of two different toys based off of this toy. But like it's so old, dude. Cause we had these. We had these. Cause I didn't I had Legos and I had these. Wow, that took me down memory lane so far. Oh my gosh. This is so this is so crazy. Um oh, but I monsters? Yeah, dude. Because they had okay, because here's the thing. You can squish them, but they had because you can kind of see like some of them are repeatable sort of thing. Um because you can squish them and then they like remold back into these things. And then I think they had the mold that you can put them in to remold them too. Like, oh my god, that's such a throwback. Oh, this quiz is hitting me harder and harder the more that I go through with it. The gaming, see, here's the thing though. The video game ones don't hurt me as much because like I played them all and I still own most of them, but the toys are the ones that throw me back. Laser attack, laser challenge. Okay, I forgot the name of it because it's. I mean, listen, if you know what Laser Park was, then you were a real one. Okay, Laser Park was like I had my birthday at Laser Park like 5 times. It was because like Laser Park. I mean, I don't. Oh man, see now this gets worse because I don't know if it was actually outside of the U.S. or out of New York. We had a laser park in Times Square, 42nd Street in New York City. I had my birthday there 5 times. It was an arcade, and it's crazy too because I literally remember it because like you come, it's a downstairs. You go in, and then you have all the the ticket games on the left side. On the right side, you had the arcade with the video games. You wrap around that way. They had like House of the Dead and the dinosaur one, and then they had like Mortal Kombat, but I couldn't play it because it was too brutal. But then you keep on wrapping around. Then they had like this curtain thing, and you go in the curtain thing, and then they had like the fluorescent lights, so my teeth would turn like a purple, my skin turned purple sort of thing. Then they had the vest on. You put the you put the vest on with the laser gun, and they didn't look like this though. They looked like real like blaster pistol things, and you put your name in on like a laminated like card, and then you put the card in like the vest. Wow, that's so wow. It's so wow how old it was. And I remember going to this place so often because then literally, to like the left of where that entrance is to laser tag, they had the ticket booth, and then they had tickets on the floor, and then they had the fan, and you can go in there and try and catch tickets on your birthday sort of thing, and that was that. And then to the left of that was Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and when I tell you how many tokens I spent just playing Marvel 2, the thing is that I wasn't even good enough at the game. I was like I was like 9 or 10 or set or I was just too young to play MVC two. But like I played MVC two so much, and the crazy thing too is that it wasn't even like in '98 when I had my birthday there. They had Marvel one. Then they took out Marvel 1 and put Marvel 2. And I remember it because literally when they put Marvel 2 in, I was sad because I was like, where's Marvel 1? Because we had Marvel because like they had Marvel 1 in the arcade and then we had it for PlayStation. And then I was so happy to be have for PlayStation, so I was hype. But then we got the Dreamcast and then it was also for Dreamcast. So I had 2 copies of it and I was really hype. Um but then even still the going cuz like when you had oh my god, dude, this is so crazy. How much is taking me down. It's so crazy. Um and I'm telling you a story at this point, but like literally, um, because Marvel One at home, we only had like the PlayStation controller. So when we went to the arcade, they had the arcade stick. So like when I went for the arcade machine thing, it was like because mom would be like, "Oh, like we have Marvel One at home," and I was like, "Yeah, but we don't have the arcade stick." So like when I went to play with this, like I swear to you, I had so much more fun playing with it with the arcade stick. Um, and then that was it. But then Marvel One was put away, and then I went like, oh, there was like a really cute girl that like brown hair, kind of tall, whatever. It doesn't matter because I don't remember her face or her name, but either way, it was my birthday, and Marvel Two was a thing. But then on my birthday, I was sad because I was like, oh, like what happened to the first one? Like it says Marvel versus Capcom Two, and she was like, oh, we changed it to the new one. And I was sad, so she gave me a bag of extra tokens because they must have given me like $20 worth of tokens when I swear to you, everyone was like, oh, like you should play, token games. Like go play games that give you tickets. And I was like, I don't care. I want to play Marvel. So I spent all my tokens on Marvel. Then I was done. So then my mom, then they were like, okay, like let's get you some tickets. Um, so I played some ticket games. But then the girl was very sweet to me and she gave me a small bag of tokens and she was like, here you go. And then I went back to go play Marvel 2. And I played Marvel 2 until we were able to play laser tag. It was such a good time, man. Anyways, laser tag, I'll never forget it. Okay, okay. I still have this exact one from when I had this exact one when I was still in college. Um, man, I love Nerf, man. Okay, Okay, wait. Wait. Okay, here's the thing. I don't know what this thing is, but I know what these things are. And I did not actually think at all um that they were like a music thing. Pocket beats? Hit clips? Okay, I promise you, I had no idea. I had no idea. But here's the thing though. What you would do is it only played a minute, but that was the point that you put the thing in and it was like it played the music. But I didn't know what the device looked like or what it was called, but I just knew that you had it and you put the thing in and it played music. That's all that I remembered. Um oh shoot. Okay. Wait, not Hot Wheels. Power Wheels? Okay. So in truth, every kid had at least one. Mine was a Jeep, but mine was a blue Jeep. It wasn't green and it wasn't red. It was blue. Um, or was it black? No, it was blue or black. One of the two. I every kid. These are still relevant toys today. Um, oh, just oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. This is a Beyblade, isn't it? Okay. In truth, I never cared about Beyblades. I never watched the show. I never played the game. I never owned one in my life. However, I did not realize until literally like a couple of years ago that like they were worth like money. I had no idea. I never owned one. I've always liked to rip it, but I never actually bothered to buy the toy because like it was one of those toys where like if um if like a friend or a person that I knew had it, I was oh like can I do it like one time and they'd be like yeah sure, and I would do it and then I was good. Like I never needed to do it again, so it was like a nostalgic moment for me, but only like once in a while. I didn't really care for Beyblade that much though. Okay, um, we had this. My sister has this had, but I don't know what it was called. Baby Born. Oh, it is. Oh, now okay. I should have given myself more time because the commercial hit me as soon as I pressed Baby Bella. Wow. Okay. Oh my god, this is an etch a sketch. Okay, in respective fairness, toys still used today. I never knew how to do it. I only knew how to make a box. I swear to you, I only could make a box. That was it. Um, but Toy Story gave me the inspiration to want to buy this toy because of the fact that they did it so well. Um, okay, yeah, throws me back. Oh, okay. These are light bright. This is a light bright. Okay, yes. So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. The thing is that like I loved watching the commercial for the toy, but I never actually like owned the toy. Um, I don't know why though, but it never really appealed to me to actually acquire the toy. I just knew that like I just always knew what it was, but like the commercial was the thing that kept me intrigued to it. But I like lived nostalgically through the toy commercial, but like I never yearned for the toy itself. Isn't this a Cabbage Patch Kid? Right? Yes. Okay, cool. Here's the thing. I personally with Cabbage Patch Kids, like I didn't care, but like you know what I didn't know either though? I didn't know that they were scented dolls. I have never known that until literally just now. I thought that they were just like a doll that you paid for and then that was just like a like it was a cute doll and that was what it boiled down to kind of vibe. Like I just never knew like I just didn't know. So this to me uh is news to me. Crazy. Okay. I know what this is, but I don't know the name. I used to play this one all the time. And like, I win or lose. I wasn't like there's like a strategy to winning in this, but like I didn't know what it was, but I just like to be able to, just nail at it, but I forget what it's called. Is it Rockin' Sock'em? Yes. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I loved it. Because also cartoons made fun of the idea too. Like I actually like I loved it. Because Dexter's Laboratory did the same thing. There was like a moment where like Dee Dee would hit Dexter and he would have the thing, and then she would laugh and he'd be like, bruh, you know what I mean? So like I remember that. Okay. Uh, what is? Oh, it's a board game, dude. It's Mousetrap. Wait, it cheated. It literally says Mousetrap. It is Mousetrap. Okay, so like I've always wanted. They kind of threw this out. They kind of that's kind of whack. I've always wanted this board game, but like I just never understood. I never understood how it worked, but I've always wanted it. And that again, the commercial was so clean. Machine washable bear. Oh, I remember this commercial too, actually. Um, but I don't know what it's called. It's either a doodle bear or a sketch me teddy bear. It was a doodle bear. Okay, I do remember. I remember because what they did was they put it in water, right? So that it would wash away. But what they don't tell you though is that like you're supposed to put it either in the washing machine or you hand wash it with like a towel and like soap. But they commercialize it that you just dip it in water and then it comes out. And then they had like the little like the asterisk in the bottom where it's like use it with machine washable or like wash it with soap kind of thing. So man, I'm dumb for calling it a sketch. Like Doodle Bear made so much sense. I don't know how I didn't think it was that one. I'm gonna give myself that one because like, it counts. Oh, oh my gosh, dude. Um, I owned one. I got one for Christmas. It's a Robo. It's a Poochie. It's not a RoboPop. Okay. Oh, I own this, but like I don't remember it being called a Poochie, man. I remember it being called a RoboPop. No. Oh, I'm so out of line for that. Okay, Slinky, bro, don't even at me with this one. Here's the problem, though. The metal, no, was it the metal? That wasn't what it was. The metal one was always the better one. If you got the plastic one, you weren't. It wasn't worth it because the plastic one was always rainbow colored, which was cool, but it always broke worse than the metal one. The metal one was always. I think it was a weight thing when you technically like think about it. So like the metal Slinky was just better. The plastic one was awful because you can get the plastic one. Remember when you got like goodie bags in like at a part like a kid's birthday party? They always had the small one with the plastic. It never worked, dude. The metal one was like a $20 toy, and this thing was like amazing. Gosh, man. Wow, that's so wild, dude. Perfection. Okay. This toy was so much fun. And surprisingly enough though, the commercial was great, like was goaded. And the commercial was goaded and it for me as a child, honestly, it was more fun than it was stressful, but for adults, stressful toy. I loved this thing though. We had one in the house. I loved it dearly. Um what in the world? Okay. I probably this is either the third or the fourth time that I'm saying this, but what I'm telling you is I literally don't know what this toy is. Is it Stretched Out Strongman? Stretch Armstrong? Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I literally have never seen this toy a day in my life. But Stretch Armstrong now makes sense in terms of like some lyrics that people say in like music. But I've never seen this toy a day in my life. Never. I don't know when it came out, but like I didn't care enough. There's no chance. I'd never seen this in my life. Wow, dude. Oh, I remember these. Oh, this was such a good toy, man. It was like playing baseball, but like with tennis almost. It was so cool. Magic Mitts, man. Such a good toy. Oh, they put it up. Man, stop doing that. Don't make me feel like I don't know. I loved this toy. It was so because it was Velcroed. It had the Velcro hooks on the paddles, and you literally threw it, and you can use any tennis ball. By the way, like they only had like they had the color to match the paddle, but you can literally use any tennis ball. It was so goaded, dude. I love that thing. I had that thing for so long. Because what you used to do is if you had if you had like a friend, you would play with a friend, like you play catch. But if you had it by yourself and you were by yourself and you were in the park kind of thing, you threw it as high as you can. You try to catch it, but then the sun would blind your face, so you couldn't find it. But then you try to like it. Oh god, I remember that toy clear as day. Great toy. Um. Uh. I have no idea. I was gonna say Pippi Longstockings, but I don't think that's even remotely correct. Wait, I'm gonna cheat this one like Loki. Pippi Longstock. I don't think it's that though, because it's not the same. It's not the same thing. Pippi Longstocking is a character, right? It is a character. Okay, that's what I thought. So it's not this. It's definitely not Daisy Girls. That's that because you know why it's not Daisy Girls because there's a Z in it. So like it's probably Poppy Girls, Groovy Girls. Oh, okay. I'm not looking at up here. I'm only looking at the picture. So like I took an educated guess, and even when they told me the answer, I was still wrong. Okay, I don't know. Bruh, please. Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, you're not gonna disrespect the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is up there. Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Two cards, literally, that people collect to this day. Dark Magician, best card. I don't care what anybody says. Dark Magician was the best card. Also, the Red Eyes Black Dragon, 100%. Blue Eyes, Kaiba can go, kick a rock for all that I care. Dark Magician was the best card, hands down. What the freak is this thing? I actually don't know. Sound towels? Talk underwater? I have no idea actually. Are they like aqua talkers? Water talkies. I I'm not gonna lie to you. I have never owned these. I've again another toy that like I've never seen. There's some toys that I've never seen a day in my life. This is one of those other ones too. Stretch Armstrong in this one, and I don't even remember the other ones that I like. Here's how you know, like the ones that I don't remember at all. I don't even remember what they were. That I was like, I don't know what this is, but like I think it's. I already forgot. My memory bank already was like, it's out the window. So a string game you play with your hands. I don't string game. Cat's Cradle. I don't even know. Okay, so like I know what it was because of the name's phrasing made sense to me. Like Cat's Cradle was the only one that was familiar to my brain, but I actually don't even know what it is. Because I used to go to summer camp. I went to Nature's Classroom summer camp in like fourth grade, and we played this all the time, but I didn't know the name of it. So this is news to me too. What are these lights called, bruh? You think that people still don't use lava lamps still to this day? There's no chance, dude. However, okay, raise your hand if you thought that it was at one point an actual lava lamp, like lava in a lamp kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because like lava literally can't even remotely close to be labeled or contained in a metal container like this with like a plastic cover and liquid. There's no chance. However, hilariously enough, though, the light bulb underneath it though kind of kept it kind of warm, so like it wasn't that bad. But again, people to this day still own them. How are you gonna disrespect the Rubik's Cube? It's like the oldest toy in the book that literally everybody buys to this day. Everyone's still buying and playing with Rubik's Cubes today. However, crazy to me though that like this is almost like a 50-year-old toy. I would have never guessed that. So that's awesome. Oh, I don't remember, but we had it. Okay, I used to like I'm gonna sound so out of pocket for this. But like people used to like chew on the toy because the toy was like a plastic and it was squishy. So like when you're a kid, there's a natural tendency to just put things in your mouth as a kid. Um I've seen so many kids either you squish it with your hands or you literally just put it in your mouth and you chew on it like it's like a gum almost. But I don't know what it's called. Is it a it's one of these three. Is it a water sinker? It's a water wriggly? Okay, I don't know. I never knew the name of this thing. So, a 42 out of 60? Okay, I feel so you know, that's impressive. You know your stuff. You're definitely alive and thriving as an active parent or child in the 90s. How many of these got past you? Of course, you didn't own every single toy in the market. We're not all richy rich. Great cartoon, by the way. So it's not surprising you didn't know a few of them. I mean, that's the thing though. Is like there was a bunch that I absolutely did not know, and there was a bunch that like I've never even seen before, or I like knew it, but I just never knew that the name of it was a like a name. Because you just don't really know the name of it. You just see it and you're like, oh yeah, I know what it is, and then that's what it was. So this test, nostalgic as heck. I loved this one so much. So like, hey, I'm a '90s kid at heart, truly. I just knew all the boy toys that I knew that I played with, and like it made total sense. The girl stuff, I would have never guessed. I'm still sad that I didn't get American Girl right. That was really out of line for me. I feel so embarrassed for not knowing that. I knew what it was. I just didn't know that it actually was what it was. There you have it. Take the quiz. I think the quiz is lit. There you go. Pass Factory 90s quiz. Give it a try. Let me know what you get. Thank you for watching. Take care.